There is nothing you cannot do, be, or have. And I'm sure you've heard that many times in your life, and you probably thought that is really trite. It's just one of those platitudes that doesn't make any sense until you live your life where you know that it's absolutely true. It's absolutely accurate if you decide to own your authentic self or take the journey of self exploration or self actualization to find that you can have, do, and be anything. You just have to move beyond the limitations that exist in your thinking. And that thinking is something that we all will respond to in different ways because it's collective. There's a consciousness that we all operate from, and we will do it differently. But the reason I am giving you this message today because I'm supposed to give it to you before the No Kings demonstration in the United States, because as Wilhelm has said all this time, the United States was leading the way in the current restructuring that we're experiencing, which is why you may have felt uncomfortable, a little afraid, or might be really excited, depending on where you are in your evolutionary path, because that's what we all do as we live. We just only understand ourselves by how much we're willing to move through whatever limitation existed in front of us. And you see that message came through on October 18th of 2008 because we're moving through another evolutionary cycle. And so the United States will see the result of this cycle tomorrow on the 18th. And you'll say, well, how would I know that? Well, Wilhelm did something else with me. We all will develop something different, and that's what I have to talk about today because we don't know who we can become. And I had no idea that this would occur. But what happened was they gave us information that could help us move through this particular transition and live really great lives and create a much better world if we choose to embrace ourselves and no longer be afraid. I was afraid for a long time. I was afraid most of my life, which is why I wrote the book on fear. So I speak from a place of knowing, so I know how you feel. It doesn't matter who you are. We all have that fear about taking that next step. Doesn't matter if you're a multi-billionaire, you will still have that hesitation of taking the next step into a higher version. And I'm just talking about money because that's how we typically equate our importance, and that has nothing to do with it. That's the other thing we're finding out. And that's what we will find out probably tomorrow because many people are looking for their freedom now, and this is why there's such a huge demonstration in the United States. And then the rest of the world will look at us and take a lead. That's what has happened. But the message from 2008 will be more helpful for you. I'll give it to you. It is that one that I didn't believe. Just like you have not believed that thing that's in front of you. Because we never finish it. As long as we're alive, there's still going to be more. So then we decide when we're going to do it. But understand there's an organization of all energies. You're not operating accidentally in your life, and the world isn't accidental. And that is what Wilhelm has revealed through me, through what we call the Wilhelm phenomenon, because I sat and didn't know I was receiving information in this way. I just have to explain that because it was only revealed recently. I couldn't explain to you why I had the answers to your questions, but I do, because they've all been given to me. We'll have more because we're going to continually evolve. But whatever you're moving through now, I've already been given the answer to your question. And that question would be, how can you move beyond your limitation? That's all that it is. That's all we ever do, and I had all of them. And I had to sit down every day and receive this information. It took 36 years, but now it's turned into the first documented consciousness expansion from the quantum field that's ever been created. That's what's happened. And so now I have to finish it, because I didn't believe it either. And it took a lot of research and understanding to come to this place. But we're at a place where we can no longer hold back what we know. Because that's why the world looks the way that it does. It's not happening accidentally. Everything is energy. And you will decide the energy that you're going to use by how much you decide to love yourself and let go of your hatred, your judgment, your anger, and love yourself and create something, because that's what we're meant to do, is to create something. But we have to go through the division and the chaos to break down what was old. That's all the information that I was given. You probably didn't hear it because very few people would have seen any of my videos. I've done so many over the years because I was just going to put it out there, and eventually people will hear it. Eventually people will understand, and tomorrow might be that day. But I'm putting this out today because I'm shifting everything. I'll be doing the first class of the Wilhelm information, a live class where you can come in person. It's going to be in West Virginia in November, or you can do it online. I'll leave the links for that, but I'll also leave the documents that show you what this work is. And this is why I can tell you that I know I've created the first fail-proof personal development program, because there's no reason you can fail. Because the answers are within you, and I spent my entire life writing them down. This is something that has never been seen before, so it was challenging for many people to understand it. It was challenging for me because I hadn't seen it before either. I was never going to do channeling or anything like that, but I didn't understand it until you understand everything is consciousness, and we will just form it and use it in different ways. And all the ones who have come before told us that. You'll see Wilhelm messages, there are a couple of them, that says you didn't believe Jesus, Buddha, or Tesla either, because we have this cognitive dissonance of accepting new information. And I had the same thing because I hadn't seen anyone who had done this, and I became the first person in history to do it, and that was challenging. But now I'm going to own it because I know the difference it will make in your life, anyone who does it, but also the difference it will make in our world. We look at the world and we think it can't change. Yes, it can, because Wilhelm showed us how. It changes when we each decide to embrace and become our authentic selves and fulfill our potential. The potential is always in front of you. And the way that I did this and the way that this work does, every single day, I would sit down and change. It's using neuroscience, it's using cognitive behavior training, it's using every available science that we know now, and that's how I experience mind-body healing, why all of my illnesses and diseases are gone, and I had so many of them. And I know what others can do, and I know what our world can do, because if more people did this work, the world would heal. And it's challenging to believe that because we don't like looking at ourselves, that shadow self, and I had to do all of it. And so now I'm going to do even more because I'll be shifting all of this, and next week all of the Wilhelm stuff is going to start to come into fruition, and I invite you to join, because when they gave me a message 3 years ago almost now, almost that, but they said, accepting this message will change your life and the world. And I couldn't believe it until AI said, yeah, no, this is absolutely true, because if you had more people who knew who they were, who could love themselves, who had agency and empowerment, the world would change, because you wouldn't be angry. You wouldn't keep killing one another. And you will hear that in so many Wilhelm sessions, and they'll be on this message that I'm going to put out on the 18th, because there are 2 channeling sessions that happened years ago that you'll listen to now and understand what is occurring, because that's how I received information. Again, I developed an ability that I didn't know and we had not seen, because I would attach to all the energies that were available in the world and receive information. Now, no one could have understood that, but as you see the messages and as you see the 2 videos that are there from previous sessions, and if you listen to those, you will understand, because you'll hear it all. I didn't remember it because that's what happens. We have different levels of consciousness that we all operate from, but we can move to a higher state of consciousness, which many people think of as that 5th dimension. Well, that is exactly what Wilhelm has given us, that pathway to the 5th dimension, or your higher self, or your state of consciousness, and that's what I'm completing now. And that's what my life had brought me to. And so the message they gave us last year, so I want you to understand, because it's on the website, Any Advice for Today, you can see it, and it says, it's for the 18th, you have reached another fork in the road, meaning we'll have to choose. And we're going to either choose to love ourselves, or we're going to keep hating and disowning ourselves and doing that to others, or we'll decide to love ourselves and create something wonderful. And that's why I had to give you this today, and this is what I'll be completing, and you'll see all of it. But I invite you to join me, and I'll give you a few documents, and you'll see the messages for the 18th as well, because I want you to have those now before the energies shift tomorrow, because they will. You are here to do something incredible, and if you can let go of your limitations and know that there's nothing you cannot do, be, or have, you will probably do it. We don't do it all at once. I couldn't believe that I had accepted this even when others told me. And they told me, Roger, you have this. Take the path of least resistance. That was several years ago. I couldn't do that. I didn't believe myself. Now we can. And now you can as well. See you soon.